Hey guys, hope you're well. So, how to develop trust in manifestation. So, in this video, I will be discussing on how you can develop trust in the concept of manifestation for yourself. Now, in this video, I will be talking and making a lot of comparisons with the physical fitness journey, with the weight loss trainers, with the personal trainers. The reason being because I have seen that a lot of examples come together and they help me explain the situation better, especially when it comes to this. So let's start and directly get into the points. There are a lot of points that I want to explain, and by the end, the last point, I will also give you an example of one of my clients and one person that I was talking to with whom how she developed trust in manifestation and went from there. So let's start with the example of the physical fitness journey as I was talking about. So let's say someone wants to get into weight loss. There are usual phases of things, and you will always go through these phases of things as you're growing as a human being. This is not just in this situation, but in any situation, right? That's why since we get into school, we first learn the first base, then the second base, then the third base, and we grow from there, right? And that is how the journey starts on increasing, and we have to go through that journey to learn the next step, which is also essential. So that's how the journey usually goes, and that's how we learn into it. An example of this would be, so let's say someone first gets into a weight loss journey. Usually people start with these quick fix fads, right? Fat burner pills, doing these detox things and things in that regard, where you do this XYZ thing and in 10 days you will lose this amount of weight. It's because you at that time are just looking for a quick fix, right? Then when someone tries that, they either get results or they don't. Then they start to go slightly deeper. They start to realize the concept of calories in, calories out. So they start to realize about calories in, calories out. They start to learn about that. From there, they get into next step where they realize that, oh, the foods that I choose also matter. Then they start to eat better. They start to choose the kind of foods. Then they eventually get into a place where they realize that I can calorie cycle. I can use different things. Like I can use different foods at different times in my life and in different positions to increase my performance. So it's a whole situation. At the end, then people get deeper into exercise. They get deeper into fitness. They start to reevaluate the meaning of this, right? Similarly, we also get into the situation of manifestation like that. We get into it usually at the start. We are very desperate. We are coming from a very desperate place. We just want instant results, and we just focus on getting results from there. Then we either try or we fail, or we try and get some partial results, and then eventually end up in a place where we start to learn more about it. Then we start to get into self concept. Then we start to understand about conditioning. Then it's more like questioning these concepts, and in the end you get to a place where you're critically questioning these things and also taking things from there and learning from it, right? So you stop believing everything that everyone tells you. You start applying a lot of things, and you start developing trust in what you start to understand the truth about it is. As in the world, even in the manifestation community, you have to understand that there is a difference between the majority and the minority. In the world, the majority exists, and in the majority there are people who will not have great beliefs. This is not an assumption that I'm making based on something that I want to make, but that is how the world works. I will give you an example. Look around you and check to see how many people are in healthy relationships. Not what your definition of healthy is, but what is an actually healthy relationship. You will realize that out of 10, there might be one or two. Ask yourself, who are people around you who are very, very wealthy or who have a great relationship with money? There will be one or two, right, out of 10. So even in the manifestation community, the people who actually grasp the concepts would be one or two, and these would be like from coaches to clients to people who are applying to you guys listening to me explaining. It would go in that direction, right? So first, it's important to take into account that there will be stages to this thing, and going through these stages is very important. Now, coming to the trust factor, a very important point to take into like factor in is that you don't need trust to manifest. What that means is, we are saying at one place that we have been manifesting our whole lives. So we are coming from an assumption that everything that we have been doing has had some sort of manifestation involved, right? If I have been manifesting my whole life, I haven't trusted the process all the time. Now, trust will definitely help you fast in the process, but trust is not needed for the process. Of course, you would want to trust it because you are spending your time into it, you are investing into it. money, time, effort, value. Even right now, you're listening to this video, you are spending time listening to it. So trust is going to be important. We want to be in a place where we can trust this concept, but it's not absolutely needed. So don't pressurize yourself into trusting the concepts. Start applying and you will automatically develop trust. That's the first and the most basic advice that I can give you. The second advice: trust is a decision. A very important thing to see is that no matter how much I convince you, how much proof I show you, I have 12 success story highlights on my Instagram. It's almost about to be 13, which means there are around 1200 stories there. No matter how much proof that I give you, or no matter how much proof any coach gives you, or no matter how much we tell you that it works, unless and until you choose to believe it, you're not going to believe it, right? This goes with all areas and this goes in all situations. Unless and until you have a belief in it and you want to believe in it, you're not going to believe in it. I know so many people who actually say that they want to learn about manifestation and say that I will test it, but in fact what they are doing is they are consistently finding out reasons to not believe it. Because if they believe it, then they will have to believe that they have control over their lives, but they don't want to believe that they have control over their lives, because if they do, then they wouldn't be able to victimize themselves. This feels slightly counterintuitive, but it's very, very true because I have seen it happen so many times. So, trust and belief is a decision. Eventually, you are believing in the unseen, and there is always going to be a metaphysical aspect involved into it. And you are starting to believe in that, which will come with a decision, which might not be an instant decision, but at some point, you will have to take that leap of faith. Coming to the next one, you can start by manifesting smaller things. So, small and big depends on the person and the conditioning that they are coming with. I will give you an example. If I affirm that I am going to get 5 new clients tomorrow, that is way easier for me to believe because I usually get clients like that, right? But if I believe or I start to affirm that I'm a billionaire, I don't think that it is something that I would be able to believe right now, no matter how great of a manifestor I am, or even if I'm the best coach in the world or whatever it is. It would be very difficult for me to believe that because I'm not close to it. And my belief system does not align to it. My habits don't align to that. I don't know how a billionaire thinks. I don't know how a billionaire works. I don't know the value system of a billionaire. So for me to get to that level, I would rather go in steps, which means I would first focus on the things that I am, maybe slightly more, maybe from 5 I can go to 7, or maybe I can start to believe that I earn a little bit more amount. That does not mean I shouldn't go outside of my comfort zone. And this doesn't apply for all situations, but in a lot of situations, going slightly slower and step by step would be way easier for you to believe. And it will be an achievable goal, and you will achieve it, and then you will go to the next one and achieve it, and it will be very helpful. Now, in SP situations, I wouldn't recommend it because a lot of times then we can start justifying breadcrumbing to ourselves by telling ourselves we are going step by step. So in SP situations, I wouldn't recommend this. And in that situation, I would say that if you don't believe that you are going to get the full thing, then that belief system needs to be worked on. And the self concept, self worth part needs to be worked on. If that is becoming a hindrance, then focus there rather than trying to counter the effects of it. But you can also look into something like my revision challenge, where a lot of people have gotten a lot of benefits manifesting very small thing. It's absolutely free. It's available for free. A video is in the bio where I explain the revision challenge in detail. So check that out. That will be absolutely, like, a lot of people have manifested many things from it. And there was this trend even where people started manifesting seeing a pink elephant. And that is something you can start with. It would be a very good challenge to start. Next thing, how to develop trust. And a next thing, which is very important, we blame our inadequacies on a lack of trust a lot of times. Now, what that means is responsibility is a thing that has to be taken. It's not something that we can decide to take or not. But if you want to manifest a dream life that you want, or if you want to change your circumstances, you need to take responsibility. What that means is a lot of times what happens is that we are not doing the actions that we should be doing. And eventually, because of those things, we are putting ourselves in a position where we are consistently losing. And as we put ourselves into a position of consistently losing, we tell ourselves that we are losing because manifestation doesn't work, when in fact we are not doing it correctly. I will have to explain it to you with the help of an example. As I mentioned at the end, I will give you an example of one of my clients. So I had this client who had a consistent habit of consistently choosing unavailable men in her life. An example of this would be she was involved with a guy and who was very unavailable and just consistently kept rejecting her. The only reason she was in fact going after her was because of her self concept. At that time she felt, this is what I deserve. Kept going after him, kept going in that situation, kept getting rejected. Chose another guy, got involved in him, and the only, now that we actually go deeper into her situation, the only reason that she actually got attracted to the guy in the first place was because he was consistently showing her what her self concept was, which was the self concept of someone who is the chaser. So he met her from day 2, day 3, he cleared it up that I'm not looking for something serious. In her mind she said that, oh, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity to chase this person. He was hot and cold, he was not treating her right, and she consistently kept chasing her, right? And then after doing this for a long time, then she moved to the third guy, into the fourth, and you will see that this pattern kept on repeating, where she kept rejecting herself to please these men, and it wasn't working out, of course. Now eventually, now her perspective was, when we started coaching, was that, you know, Karan, manifestation doesn't work, because all this while I have tried to manifest these guys in my life, but it hasn't worked. Now, in a subtle way, she's just letting go of responsibility. And she was absolutely a gem when we talked about this. She took it very well. She took it in a very good way, and she's actually working on it. But in a very big way, she was actually rejecting responsibility of the decisions that she was taking. Over a period of the last 5 to 6 years, she has chased multiple guys multiple times. And it's very convenient to say that, you know what, manifestation doesn't work. I tried it all and it didn't work for me. But when you go into detail, you realize, did I really try it all? Because half of the time I was chasing, the other half of the time I was thinking about what can I do to get these guys to like me. I was never working on myself, never consistent with my routines. Even if I was, it was in a half-hearted way. I gave up pretty quickly as soon as I started developing some consistency. And now I'm hoping that somewhere manifestation is the thing that failed me. No, I failed myself. And unless and until I first accept responsibility of it, I'm never going to grow from it. That is something which is very important to understand and take into account, because if we won't, then it will be a consistent cycle of blame without any results. So I hope this helps, and I hope this video helps you develop some trust in the concept of manifestation, and that you are able to grow from this, because I really wish that for you. I will see you guys in the next video and hope you have a good one.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.